What is up, everybody? What is up? It is Tuesday night. It is 9 p.m. It is that time that you all need to sit back, relax, pour yourself a nice cold drink, pour yourself a nice hot cup of Irish coffee, or roll yourself a nice fat green one. Sit back and relax because it's shooting the shit uncensored, baby. And it's me, your host, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight I am joined by a very special guest. He is the Newey Pro Wrestling Middleweight Champion. He's also one of the stars of PWA Pro Wrestling Australia. But before I bring him out, Mr. Matt Diamond, I want to take a quick pause to thank some sponsors. First up is... No, that's the wrong one. First up is A-Rock Designs. A-Rock Designs is that company you always hear me talking about. They make custom cups, tumblers. They made me my custom CM Punk tumbler, which I absolutely love. I always have it with me on every single stream that I do. So make sure you go and check them out. They do an amazing product with amazing price. So check them out at arockdesigns.com. Next up is Signal Studios. Now, Signal Studios is a production company, a recording studio. If you need any type of music done, you're a musician, you need your stuff mastered, produced, you can get in contact with Rafi. He can go anywhere in Australia. He can assist you and help you guys out. Or if you're looking for a place to record, a place to rehearse, a place to jam, they have the most comfortable rehearsal space in the fucking world. But guys, we have some live chats going up at the moment. We got Kyle Eade in the house. We got Joel Southgate in the house. Guys, it has been a crazy 7 days. You know what I'm saying? For MWA Podcast Network, we had 2 shows launched. We had Nights of the Gimmick Table with the Dead Presidents, and we had Get Funked with Alan Kwee Funk. And you know what, guys? We've always got Killing the Business with former ECW original, the Kingpin, Angel Medina. So make sure you check out those shows. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button. We appreciate it. We're glad that you're here. Guys, also, we had a new Austin join the family. That's it. We had a little baby boy last week, me and my wife. We're very excited. But guys, without further ado, it's time to get on with the show. Here he is, Mr. Matt Diamond. Matt, thanks for coming on, brother.
Hello, mate. Thanks for having me, and congratulations on your new little baby boy, mate.
Thank you, mate. Little Zeke. You know, he came into this world.
Too.
Yeah, Ezekiel. But came into this world ready to raring and ripping to go, man. So, and he's been great to have him here. So, mate. Yeah, how's everything been going with you, man? Like, it's wrestling shows now are really starting to ramp up. We're starting to see a lot of shows happening more frequently. We coming out of COVID, and now having those live bigger shows. How's it feeling to be back in front of those crowds, man?
Yeah, it's great, man. I actually had a look at my schedule the other day for almost the rest of the year, and I am almost as busy as I've ever been booked on shows. So between what Newey's got going on and what PWA is going on, it's just good to be back, and like you said, good to be back in front of fans.
Yeah, man. Look, I started coming to PWA shows at the Academy shows, and man, to be honest, I was blown away with it. In such an intimate crowd, the level of performance that you guys were able to put on and display was really amazing. And I came to the wrist locks and pile drivers, where I think you were in the main event with Robbie Eagles and CJ Phoenix against the Nations. Yeah, and I was like, straight away, like, that to me, like, how you guys were performing, I was like, man, I want to find out more about these guys and look into their background and finding out about Newey Pro and learning about that. But where did you get started in the business? Like, did you start down in Newcastle at Newey Pro?
No, not quite. So I started in Newcastle, but I was backyard wrestling for ages, and that kind of stopped. Like, so when I say I was backyard wrestling with CJ Phoenix and Robbie Eagles back in the day, and that's how we all met. So that's why that match, the one that you came to, was really special. But back in the day, yeah, HVWA was our backyard fed, and when that ended, there was myself and another guy who a lot of people wanted to stop wrestling, like wanted to stop backyarding and kind of get on with their lives, and we didn't want to stop. So there was a guy in Newcastle who had been at a couple of our backyard shows, and we kind of kept in contact with, and he was starting up his own promotion. So we started helping out on a couple of those, shows, and I did a little bit of training under him, and eventually worked one of his shows. And then from there, Robbie had started training in Sydney. So we started going down to Sydney shows and help, and then got in with PWA back in the day. When I first started, Newey Pro wasn't around.
Yeah, right. So, how did you actually find going from like the backyard sort of wrestling style to then sort of doing it the correct? I don't want to say the non-correct way, because I've seen some.
Oh, no, I understand what you mean. The correct way.
Yeah, like I'd probably say the more like refined training, if you want to call it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah. How did you find the transition from that though?
Oh, me and the guy I started with, his name was Gene Kelly, and we loved it. We liked learning, because before that, we'd only really taught ourselves just by watching videos and kind of, I don't even think, YouTube wasn't around back then. So this was like 2004 to 2000, maybe 2003 to 2006. So this was a long time before like the internet was really a thing. So we'd only just kind of downloaded videos, and we'd kind of learned ourselves just by watching things over and over and over again, and just trying them on each other. So yeah, it was like that.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh yeah. So to actually like get to ask someone a question and have them have an answer was awesome. We were kind of sponges. We just wanted to learn as much as possible.
What was your backyard gimmick? I
wouldn't say it was a gimmick, but I wrestled as Psychotic, but Psychotic with an S, not a P. So I was edgy.
Yeah, right. Were you watching a lot of indie style wrestling in that time as well? Because around that time was like the peak of it,
Absolutely. Just like Ring of Honor was, I don't know if it had just started, but we had just discovered it. And so we kind of caught a lot of, kind of focused on like a lot of like the cruiserweight stuff in WCW, and then like early Ring of Honor with like Christopher Daniels and Low-Key and Amazing Red and the Briscoes. Those guys, we just tried to emulate pretty much everything that we saw.
Yeah, and that sort of style was just it's really evolved to what it is now. Like it's that sort of hard-hitting, edgy, sort of like athletic style of wrestling is where I really first sort of saw it in like Ring of Honor, and that sort of like, I don't want to say strong style, but more athleticism to it, if that makes sense. And seeing how that's evolved since then to what we're seeing now is amazing.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's the kind of style of wrestling that I like to watch. And I like to wrestle that way as well. So kind of like a little like more cruiserweight-ish. I've kind of tried to, when I say try to tone down the flips, I'm like slowly trying to tone down the flips because the old body's getting a bit sore. But that's the kind of wrestling that I like to watch.
Yeah, same. I completely agree. But when you started, went into like training for wrestling, did you go in there thinking like, yeah, I know how to do this shit? Or was it like you went in there like humble, going, all right, like I'm not going to be respected as a backyard, I'm just going to be quiet, learn? And
we tried to, when we first started with the company in Newcastle, like the guy who ran it knew that we were backyarders, but we would never come in and say like, oh, hey, we know how to wrestle, we're backyard wrestlers. We were like we kind of knew that was only going to get us in trouble and only going to get us like probably beat up. So we were nice and respectful, and we never really had proper training the way that I would suggest someone gets trained, like go to a school, start fresh, start from the bottom and work your way up. We never really had that. We kind of had a little bit of training and then got some matches and kind of just learned as we go and just tried to pick up as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the smart way of doing it, going in there, being humble and just learning that process, because going in there with anything else, I'm sure you would have got the beating of a lifetime.
Oh yeah. Like when we went down to PWA, we tried to hide that we were backyard wrestlers from everybody. We didn't want anyone to know. Yeah. I mean, myself and Robbie, like, because we knew each other through backyard wrestling, but we didn't want to tell everyone that's how we knew each other. So when I went down there, a couple of people were like, how do you guys know each other? Like, you're from Sydney, Robbie, and Matt, you're from Newcastle. And for some reason, Robbie goes, oh, we used to surf together. And I've just looked at him. I'm like, I've never surfed a day in my life. Neither has he. He just must have come out of nowhere.
Work the gimmick, bro.
Yeah. Just met him down the beach. Yeah.
Just met him down the beach surfing. We're both standing there with surfboards.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, since you've gone from that transition and being into a pro, you know, was there any stuff at that point where you were like, oh shit, with like light bulb moments were going off? Like you started picking up like, oh, okay, this is why you do this instead of doing this, and this.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of little things mainly. But like when I was back out of wrestling, like wrestling psychology always fascinated me. And I got a couple of Secrets of the Ring with Raven tapes. I think they were from like RF Video. And I borrowed them from somebody and watched them and just tried to learn as much as I could, but actually learning like the psychology of matches and things like that were, I used to love learning about stuff like that and learning like just kind of more things like match structure and stuff like that.
So you mentioned Raven. Like, was Raven one of the guys that was an influence to you early on?
No, not really, but I just really enjoyed those tapes because I just learned a lot from listening to them. And they were just interesting to me back at that time, like, because there wasn't like a lot of, other than I guess like the DVDs that you would buy, there was documentaries, but they were more talking about the wrestler's career and not the business, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so, the breaking down of the actual shoot style.
Yeah, and these like I honestly can't even remember what was on them. I just remember back in the day watching that, and that was almost a little bit of a light bulb moment to me, because before that it was all like moves and stuff, and that I kind of just learned a little bit more about what wrestling is from watching them.
Yeah. And, you know, I think as a fan as well, like for me, I really enjoy like a good story. And like I said, the psychology of it as well, where I can sit down and see, you know what I mean? Like see how it's played out or seeing what's playing out in front of me. Like, I think that's a really important part of it. Like the moves and everything like that are always impressive. But when it comes to the story and the psychology of the story, that's something that I've always found as a fan that's really sort of captured my attention always with wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree as well. Like, don't get me wrong. I love watching a good little, 10-minute banger where the guys just go all out. But I love a good story. And I especially lately, I've really tried to implement story into the way that I wrestle. More so lately than probably ever.
Yeah, right. So when, you know, obviously Matt Diamond, the character, goes out there, what objective do you try and put out there to the audience and to the opponent? And for a character-wise, what are you trying to perpetuate?
It's kind of evolved a little bit over the years. So back in the day, I guess I was just more of like a generic baby face, go out there, do a whole bunch of flips and get the crowd behind me that way. But I think I've more kind of progressed to like, I've been around for a long time. I had my first professional wrestling match in 2007, and I've had like some years off with injury, but I've been around for a while. So I kind of like to play that more of like not a veteran role, because I don't think I'm that, but maybe like almost like an experienced underdog when I am playing more of a babyface role.
Mm-hmm. And what about when you go into a heel role?
I've kind of just started doing a bit more of that in Nui at the moment, and just a cocky piece of shit, really. Just kind of going out there and knowing what I'm worth and kind of portraying that to everybody, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like to be a great heel, it's just to be the best dickhead that you can possibly be.
Absolutely. And I just am loving being an absolute dickhead, and it's just so much fun.
Dude, like that's the thing I could just imagine, like of being like the biggest heel is just to go out there and just go, here's a microphone, you know what? Go be a prick. Like you're just having a bad day, just go out there and shit on the audience. And,
just antagonize people. Yeah. Like even just on the weekend, it was we had one of the Newcastle pros who shows, kind of the smaller shows that we do at the training facility, and it was just so much fun. I come backstage and I was just laughing because of how much fun I had.
Dude, I've heard about the Who shows, man. I've got to get my ass down there.
Oh, they can get pretty wild, man. They're so much fun. Really, really great atmosphere at a Who show.
I've heard that like the fan base down there as well, like it's just that really rabid, sort of like excited, fan base at the show where you can really feel the atmosphere. And that to me is like, when I've been told that, I sort of like think similar to like the ECW arena type style. Is it pretty much like that from your perspective, or similar to that, you think?
Yeah, some of the Who shows can get pretty, especially the Who shows, they can get pretty wild because, I mean, it's not a adults only show, but it's probably more of a show that's directed to adults rather than the regular Newcastle Pro shows, which are more, I guess, family friendly, for a lack of a better term. And there's like kids are allowed to go, but it's under the guise that, okay, there's going to be some adult themes here, and you're accepting of that. So yeah, like it's BYO at the Who shows, and it's a good time.
Jesus, man, I'd get myself in trouble at the Who show by the sounds. Damn.
Nah, mate, you'd be fine. We'll take care of you.
Oh, good stuff, mate. Yeah, definitely have to get down and check it out. But when you first broke in, to wrestling, did you have that dream of going to WWE and traveling around the world? Was that something that was always a goal at the start?
I don't know if it was. I guess it was always like the far off in the future end goal, or like maybe the far off in the future dream. But back then, I just wanted to wrestle, and like back then, there really wasn't many guys from Australia getting signed and going over there, so it was kind of almost unattainable. And back then, like everybody that they were signing were giants, like 6'2".
Yeah,
100 kilos.
Ruthless aggression era.
And I am not 6'2", and I'm certainly not 100 kilos. So I just wanted to wrestle and just have as much fun as possible. And then when you see throughout the years all the awesome talent that's been signed and heading over, it's kind of made that goal, I guess, a lot more attainable.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen two just get signed recently.
Yeah,
with Wahlberg and Steph DeLander, and I think even looking at it now, and I've said this before, and is now it's not just we're going to put you out there in Australian with the Australian gimmick and tie me kangaroo down sport. It's like, no, this is a professional athlete, professional WWE star or wrestling star that just happens to be Australian. And I think absolutely. That's not like a big gimmicky thing.
No, not at all. Like in Australia, we have some of the best wrestlers in the world, and I am 100% certain about that. And yeah, like I think anybody who saw Steph or Matty Wahlberg on any of the PWA shows previously could look at them and go, yeah, like they're a star, and they wouldn't look out of place anywhere in any company in the world.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that I had pretty much the same sentiment after that first show that I went to. I went out and I was like, Wahlberg could go to NXT tomorrow and do wonders over there. And now he's going there. And I think that it's, over the last 10, 15 years, we've really started to break that barrier. And I think that, the Australian scene has really started to break that barrier where people have taken a lot more notice of the talent that we have here. And it's a testament to what you guys do. You guys put on amazing shows every month that are putting the eyes on the product.
Yeah, I agree. I saw I can't remember who tweeted it. It was only a week or so ago, but it was like, has anybody around the world had better main events than what's gone on in Australia this year? And I mean, it's hard to disagree with.
Yeah. 100%. Like we're one of the few countries, man, that have had live pro wrestling at a full capacity of events. You know what I mean? Like over in America and other places, they're having quarter the amount of crowds that what they've usually had.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if it's luck, but it's just
I wouldn't say luck, but
I was going to say, like, we're lucky that Australia has not been as hit as hard by COVID, I guess, as the rest of the world. We kind of wrapped it up, but kind of covered it up a little bit better, and we were able to get back into shows quicker, and yeah, very, very lucky that we live in Australia as a wrestler at the moment.
100%, especially with now, and I think with Fight TV and independent wrestling TV, you know, that the Australian product is now going out to a much larger platform internationally, and indie wrestling fans and people that subscribe to Fight TV and to the independent wrestling TV channel as well, that they're always looking for more and more different sort of content and coming across, like, you know, it's, you know, PWA, DMDU, Newy Pro, and these other companies. It's putting more eyes on our talent, and it's, you know, internationally putting it at a different level of exposure.
Yeah, that's true. I guess because I guess a lot of the world can't go out to a wrestling show like they used to. They would be looking online at things like IWTV and Fight. So yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't actually thought about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, the international fan base, and like I said, indie fans especially are like so hardcore. It's like they'll watch a show and it's like, then they'll start diving deeper into each wrestler. Okay, who's this person? Who's that person? And like, I think that's a good aspect of that for the Australian scene as well, to gain more international eyes on the product, because, you know, they want to see what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. I've always thought that, like, it would be so good to be a wrestling fan and to come across PWA and be able to look at the back catalogue of the last 2 years and just go like, oh, fuck, you could start at the start and let the start of Black Label and watch all the way through, and every show's good.
Like, dude, like, as I said, wrist locks and pile drivers, I went to that show, and, you know, afterwards I had, you know, friends in the States going, oh, how was that Aussie wrestling show? And I didn't know what to expect. You know, I went there and I was like, I just saw a show that could compete with any company that I have ever seen in the last 10 years, major, small, whatever. Like, these guys, like, from the setup, the professionalism of it, I was just like blown away. And that, to me, I was a Mark fan straight from that moment, bro. And I'll admit it, but it's, you know, and that's the thing. It's having those moments. I've even brought a friend who isn't a wrestling fan to a PWA show, and he fucking marked out like more than anyone I've ever seen, and popped for every fucking spot. And even afterwards, driving it home, he's like, dude, we got to go to the next one. Like, let's go, like, where, you know what I mean? Like, he was wanting to buy tickets for the next 6 shows right then and there. He was
that's sick.
Like, intrigued and bought into it. And he was like, I got to go. And I'm like, bro, chill.
we got him. We got our hooks in.
Exactly, man. And I said to him, I go, you're a mark, bro. I said, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, bro. Oh, exactly. Awesome. Now he's got all the wrestling lingo down and all that sort of shit. So yeah, man. But, you know, what was, you know, obviously during the COVID time and during lockdown and you know, no training, no wrestling, what was the one thing that really kept you motivated and you know, pushing forward during that time?
I wouldn't really say I lost motivation for wrestling. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I guess my body enjoyed it because I got to kind of take some time off bumping and kind of heal up a couple of little niggling injuries that I had. And yeah, it kind of just made me, I like had so many ideas through that time about where I wanted to go when I come back. I planned, like, in my head, I planned all these promos that I wanted to do, and I just kind of had like a tweak of my character that I really wanted to do. So I guess that stuff kind of just, I was excited for it to come back. Absolutely. And I guess that fueled me, just the time to think, not always having a show to go to in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, and just having time to like kind of chill and kind of think about how I wanted to come back.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as well, it gave a lot of guys time to heal, but also, even then, like, I'm sure, being an entertainer and being in that creative, mind space as well, were you constantly getting like creative ideas or storyline ideas or like matches that you were like, okay, like as soon as this is over, like I want to try and get a match with this person, this person, this person.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of storyline ideas. Mainly one big storyline idea that I just really kind of constantly went over in my head and wanted to fine tune, and just kind of maybe like in my head run through it a bunch of times and tweak little things here. And that was the kind of the main thing that I focused on during that time wrestling wise.
Yeah. And I think as well, like it's probably the smart way to sort of go about it. To give yourself that little bit of time to sort of think, but also heal, and then see what you can go moving forward. But as far as like the injuries that you had, like were they sort of long-term injuries? Like were they anything serious that had set you out for a period of time previously?
No, not really. I hurt my knee maybe 5 years ago. I tore my patella tendon, and that put me on the shelf for almost a year. And it's just, I mean, it's healed, but kind of depending on what day of the week it is, it can be sore all over again. So to actually get some time off jumping and running and landing on it did a lot for that. It made it feel much better, and just general body, like every wrestler has like wrestler neck, where they wake up and they got a sore neck or something like that. So nothing. It's kind of funny. I don't really have any long-term serious injuries. I've just got lots of little shit ones that are a pain in the ass and just don't go away.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, oh god, I'm not the only one. Every wrestler feels that way. I'm probably just being a bit of a sook.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. But how are you feeling now after being back wrestling for the last several months?
Oh, I feel okay. Bumps and bruises are still there, but yeah, I mean, I feel okay. I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things. It's good to have a couple of shows like week after week, because you kind of get back in the swing of things.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And as far as like coming up, this weekend at Velocities versus Aussie Open, you've got a big match against Lyrebird Lucci. God, try and say that one really quickly.
Say it again. Get there.
Lyrebird Lucci.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I apologize, Lucci.
Don't worry.
So, this is a pretty big match. Lucci's coming off, a pretty big win with the, winning the tournament that happened near the end of last year, at the PWA Premiership, sorry, and doing pretty well in the Rumble as well. So, obviously this match going up with Lucci. Have you guys wrestled each other much in the past?
No, we haven't. I don't think we've actually ever touched. And speaking of the Rumble, he eliminated me, which I obviously have to get a little bit of payback for. And he eliminated Rogers as well, which is kind of the basis of what this match is about. But we have never wrestled. And he's someone that I've wanted to get in the ring with for a long time. We were supposed to do something in Newey just before COVID happened, and obviously all those plans were put to a big halt. So I am looking forward to getting in the ring with him, because he is a very, very talented wrestler and someone that I've kind of had my eye on for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, you mentioned Rogers as well, and there's a bit of a stipulation to this match, correct?
Yeah, there is. So if I win, Rogers gets his match with Lucci, and if Lucci wins, him and Rogers have to tag.
Yeah, right. What an interesting combination of tag team.
Yeah, I think if by some chance Lucci beats me, I'll have to worry more about Rogers than anything else.
Yeah, man. He is one big ass human being, dude. Like, he is like scary big.
I have some stories about Rogers that I could not share here, but he is one of the scariest men I've ever met. I'm very glad that we are good friends.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's talk about Speed Force. So Speed Force, Velocities, Rogers, yourself. How did that come to be, that group? Because like I've interviewed the Velocities, and it's like it's just an interesting combination. I think it fits really well.
So the story behind Speed Force is Paris and Jude were constantly trying to win the PWA tag titles, and they were trying to win them from the nations, but they just kept the numbers game was just in the nation's favor constantly. So they kind of come to me to kind of help boost their numbers and for a little bit of experience. Myself and Robbie were the first PWA tag champs, so I kind of could put them on the straight and narrow. And from there, we're three smaller guys, right? So we needed a bit of muscle, and we kind of set our sights on the biggest hunk of muscle in PWA, which is Rogers. So yeah, see, JT Robinson, he knows. Don't mess with Rogers. Yeah, so we set our sights on him, and he was kind of a bit apprehensive, and then I had a singles match with him at PWA, and I said, let's fight, and I'm going to prove to you that we're not little bitches like you think we are, and that we're fucking tough, and that we can fight as well. And he beat the life out of me, and I did my absolute best. And I think in that match kind of proved to him that, yeah, okay, we're not as we're tougher than we look.
And his respect in the mat.
Yeah, exactly.
Good story, and that comes down to the psychology and storytelling. Of
absolutely,
big guy beating the shit out of the little guy and getting the,
And then in that tag match, the tag match where Paris and Jude finally won the titles, the numbers game was against us again, and then boom, the lights go out, and Rogers storms the ring and just takes everyone out, and it was a beautiful moment.
That's beautiful. That's really
very
cool.
Very cool.
And
Speed Force was born.
And how was the crowd reaction?
Good.
Huge pop.
Yeah, it was
pop?
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
really cool moment to be a part of.
And that's the thing, man. It's that storyline to be able to build it up and to have the fans invested in it as well. And that's something that it's, that now I think as far as like, with companies that aren't major companies with weekly television, social media is such an important aspect of building storylines. And it's really good to see that a lot of promotions are doing that to help sort of booster a story along. So then the payoff, the big match, there's something that people are invested in at the end of it.
Absolutely too. And PWA is really lucky to have guys like Video Boy Jax and Ben Anderson, who just make these amazing video packages and just can tell a story in 3 minutes or whatever in this amazing video package that's world class easily. I don't know if you got a chance to see the little 10-minute documentary leading into this week's show, the Velocities and Aussie Open one.
I haven't, no.
Oh, when we finish, you must go check it out. It's like a little 10-minute documentary. There's like some little sit-down interviews with the guys, and it's unreal.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I'll definitely check it out. I apologize, I haven't seen it yet. It's
been that's okay, man.
7 days,
mate. You're a new father. You're completely forgiven.
Hey, man, third time, bro. Third time.
Oh, mate, if you can find time, then.
third kid, man, and yeah, I definitely find time for wrestling, bro. Don't worry about that. It's I'm actually disappointed because I was supposed to be coming to the show this Saturday night, but
oh damn,
having a little boy change that plan. So I tried to ask the wife, and I was like, "Can I go?" No, okay,
yeah, all right. Best not even ask, I'd say.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tune in live, bro. I'll tune in on Fight TV.
Awesome. That's what we like to see.
So, but moving forward, for the rest of this year, I don't want you obviously looking past the match with Lucci, but like, what matches are you really hoping to see yourself in 2021?
I would love to tag more with Robbie Eagles, honestly. We just have such a really good chemistry together, and we were supposed to go down and tag at a Deathmatch Down Under earlier this year, and like we were supposed to go down on the Saturday, and on the Friday Melbourne went into lockdown, so that kind of plans kind of got squished there. but I'd really like to tag more with him, and maybe do some interstate stuff as well. I'd love to get down to Melbourne for a company down there or somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I think Melbourne, they've definitely had some great shows going on there with MCW and PCW and also DMDU. Like it just seems like Melbourne's a hotbed for wrestling at the moment, and
Absolutely.
companies are sort of coming out. But do you have you ever wanted to go and travel internationally and go and try your hand at the indies, like in the States, in the UK or Japan? Has that ever been a goal for you?
Myself, Paris, and Jude went to when was it? 2019. We went and did the Chikara King of Trios.
Oh, all right, nice.
So that was really cool. They were the only shows that we got to work over there, but we kind of met a whole bunch of people, and I would love to go back, but who knows when international travel is gonna come back up. So that's kind of the hard thing at the moment, is you can't really plan any kind of overseas trip, because I mean, you could buy the flights and then next thing you know, there's an outbreak somewhere and you're either down your money or exactly. So it's really hard to long-term plan in like today's age, but I would love to get back over to the States.
How'd you find wrestling for Chikara and Quackenbush?
Yeah, it was great, man. Really fun. Really fun. Yeah, and it was good to go with the boys as well. Good to go with Paris and Jude, and we spent a month over there, kind of just because we figured if we were going to go all that way, we might as well see some of the world as well. I'd been to America a couple of times before, just on holiday, and those boys had as well. But we got a chance to spend some time in LA and spend some time in New York, which was, yeah, so cool, so much fun.
Did you guys want to try and get booked more on shows over there, or did you find it hard to get bookings there, or like?
Well, we went and did some ring crew at PWG and helped out there and met a whole bunch of the guys. And Paris got on day 3 of PWG, I think Battle of Los Angeles, I think it was. Yeah, so that was cool. So like us just showing up and helping out and making our faces known and trying to network as much as possible. Paris got on PWG, and I know Paris and Jude were supposed to go back, but again, we're supposed to go back to PWG, but then again, COVID happened, so it's just been a big kick in the pants for everyone, hasn't it?
How did you find the PWG shows? Like, did you stay? Obviously, you would have stayed and watched the show, but how?
We stayed and watched all 3. Oh, it was cool, really cool. Because like I'd been a big PWG fan. I always watched the recaps that they post on YouTube. So to be able to see it in person was cool. That's an atmosphere that's unlike any other. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge PWG fan, dude. Like I can't wait to go to the States just so I can go and like see so many different indie shows like GCW and places like obviously PWG, Ring of Honor and stuff like that. But as far as like getting the other international sort of style, would Japan be a place that on your radar as well at the moment? Like post COVID, I should say.
Honestly, anywhere would be on my radar. I had mainly kind of put a lot of thought into America, but Japan would absolutely be on my radar. I watch New Japan. Obviously, I watch all Robbie's matches in New Japan, and he's killing it. So that would be cool. Maybe Lightspeed Express somewhere over there would be pretty cool.
How did you how did you feel like seeing your mate Robbie Eagles like get signed to New Japan, like a guy that you started with and like started out as a backyarder with, and seeing him get to that level? Like that must have been like, whoa.
I mean, it was, but at the same time, I always just figured it would happen because I'd been around him for so long and known him for so long, and kind of getting to wrestle with him. And we've wrestled against each other a bunch of times as well. I kind of just figured it was always going to happen. Like when I found out, I wasn't like, holy shit. I was like, about time.
Yeah, right. Like this should have happened a year ago type of thing.
Yeah, just like he in my opinion, he was always going to end up somewhere. He's just too good to not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that that's the thing with a lot of talent here is like there's just so much here that it's like, as we said earlier, with Warburg and Steph DeLander like heading over to NXT now, there's still plenty of guys here that can still keep this sort of brand running and going. Like it's hurt seeing two go, but obviously you've still got plenty of talent there that is still able to put on amazing shows and then build up new talent. Like Australia is on fire right now for pro wrestling.
Absolutely. Like I know at PWA that with the two spots that are there, someone's going to step up and take that spot. And it's not going to be a Maddie Warburg or it's not going to be Steph DeLander. It's going to be someone who's going to come in and make that spot their own. But, I mean, there's lots of people just waiting for that opportunity. And now that there's two spots up for grabs, there's going to be a fight for it because there's a lot of talented people down there.
Yeah, 100%. And, as far as, working other promotions and stuff like that, like, how busy are you trying to keep yourself? Like, do you prefer only to work like Newey and PWA primarily, or you pretty much open to working wherever, whenever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely open to working wherever and whenever. Obviously, Newey and PWA are my prime focus. But, I mean, I was lucky enough. I got to go over and wrestle at EPW in Perth. When was it? It was maybe 2019 as well. I don't know. I'm not good with years, but I got a chance to go over there and wrestle for EPW Perth, which was somewhere that I'd always wanted to go. So I was really, really excited and glad I got to go over there. And I'm happy to wrestle wherever.
EPW, man, I've heard a lot of good stuff about their shows, man. How'd you find working for them?
Awesome. It was really cool. Everyone is so friendly. It's such a family environment over there, kind of similar to what we have at PWA in Newey. Everyone was super welcoming, and I'd known a couple of guys, but I met a whole bunch of new guys over there as well. And I would love to go back. I had so much fun on that little trip.
It just sounds like the Australian wrestling scene is different to anything else in the world. Like from the stories that you hear from politics in wrestling and throat cutters and stuff like that, where the feeling of Australian wrestling is everyone is working together to make it better. Like everyone in their company is there to make it better. If you're turning up to do a show, everyone is working as a team to make it the best show possible.
Yeah, the circles that I run in, that's how it is. Absolutely. It's a team environment and no one's out to make themselves any better than anyone else. Everyone's just trying to lift each other up as a collective unit. So that's kind of the circles that I run in especially.
And that's probably the important part of is like you have that positivity and people that are driving and motivating and happy for your success and there to help you when you've fallen and that sort of stuff. It puts out for a better product because you guys have that more trust in each other to go out there and put on amazing matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything you just said.
Have you ever had a match where like things just don't work? Like you've just gone out there and nothing seems to have gone right. Like you've just had, things happen, over and over again. Have you ever had one of those matches where it just like the pieces couldn't fall together?
Not off the top of my head. Not that I can really remember. There was the only thing that I can really think of where something fell apart was, and it didn't really fall apart, it just kind of got taken off track, was I wrestled Mick Moretti, and it would have been the end of 2019, and in like the first 30 seconds he elbowed me in the face and like split my face open and like broke my cheekbone. So that was like maybe 30 seconds of like, or maybe not even 30 seconds, but there was like that moment of instant panic because I'm looking at the mat and I just see blood dribbling out, and I like half my face is numb as well because he like crushed a nerve in here. It was funny, like he crushed a nerve, but that nerve kind of caused this whole area of my face to go numb, and it caused my teeth to go numb. So I thought that all my teeth had been bent in, and that's what I was freaking out about. Right, I'm thinking like, I'm going to have thousands of dollars worth of fucking dentist bills. This isn't going to be good. But I was like, well, we were the main event and it was the last show of the year. So I was like, well, I can still see, like, it's fine. So we'll keep going. But I mean, that was the only time that, and I wouldn't even say that it went off track. It was just something happened that was an accident. And, but yeah, we got back on track.
Mick Moretti's a pro, but like, how did you almost feel like you went into a state of panic in that stage? Because that's some pretty scary shit.
No, I don't think we ever panicked. We kind of just, I wouldn't even say I panicked when I saw the blood. I just went, all right, okay, well, I'm okay. That's all right. I asked the ref, and the ref was like, "Does it look bad?" And he goes, "No, it's all right." So yeah, we just kept going. We went another like 20 minutes as well, and it was great. The match was fantastic. So yeah, we got back on track. Mick's fantastic. So.
Oh, exactly. Like, I feel like Mick could have a good wrestling match with the broomstick. Like, he's just, simply amazing. But I think as well, having that thing that could have turned pear-shaped very quickly for you guys, having that, that cut and that happen, like someone who maybe a little less experienced as yourself may have like gone into a complete freak and like, oh shit, what do I do? And panic mode kicks in.
Yeah, I guess I almost surprised myself with like how I didn't panic. I was kind of just like assess the situation, went, oh, okay.
This sucks.
All right, well, I'm okay, so let's just keep going.
Yeah, and I think as well,
the photographer got some cool photos of me with blood on my face. It was great.
Was there any cool photos from it?
Oh, yeah, a couple of really good ones.
Yeah. So that you had those as the profile pics for a while. It was like,
yeah. They are
the face full of blood.
They were straight on my Instagram. Shout out to Lauren Moulton Photography.
There you go, man. Yeah, look, I think as well, like it's in that moment as well, having that composure. I suppose you have to be really trained to be able to roll with things as things happen, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, you keep you calm, keep your composure, especially when you're in the ring.
Yeah, and I guess that's experience as well. Like, I know if that had happened to me, like first year in the business, I wouldn't have handled it the same way.
Oh, no doubt in the world, dude. It's, it's crazy to think, but, it just goes to show, like, I think as well, like having that experience, but having that knowledge, but also the training as well, where the correct training to know that, okay, when something goes wrong in the ring, you've got to be able to keep calm and understand what's going on and keep that composure. And that comes down to it as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
So we are near the end of the show, guys. So we are going to play that game everybody loves, and it is 60 seconds with Piers. So we have pretty much explained to Matt what the go is and how we're going to do things here. So, Matt, are you ready to play the game?
Let's go. 60 seconds.
All right. No worries, mate.
My specialty.
Mine as well, bro. 3 times. Okay. When you're ready, let me know and I'll start the clock.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Snapchat or TikTok?
Massive TikTok fan. Love it. Spend hours on it.
Favorite song to sing in the car?
Everlong by the Foo Fighters.
Name a fucking gross meal combo that you love that no one else does.
Cottage cheese and peanut butter.
Oh, if you could ask Vince McMahon one question, what would it be?
Did Brett screw Brett or did Vince screw Brett?
Plain fairy bread or fairy bread with Nutella?
Nutella. Always Nutella.
Which celebrity would play you in a movie about your life?
Oh, everyone tells me I look like the fucking brother from Stranger Things, so I don't know his name, but that guy.
Fair enough. If you came with a warning label, what would it be?
What be? Sorry.
What would your warning label be?
Oh, short but angry.
Okay, nice. Okay, ravioli or tortellini?
Oh, neither.
Okay. What was your nickname growing up?
It was just my last name, which is Stanwell. That's really boring.
How many x-rays have you had?
5 or 6, maybe.
Which Chris is hotter, Hemsworth, Evans, or Pratt?
Hemsworth.
That's it. Time is up. Thank you very much for playing.
Easy,
60
easy, easy
seconds
last
with Piers.
answer.
There you go. There you go. Look, man, my producer sends me this shit. I just read it off, man.
Hey.
So some of the things I sit there and go, no, I can't ask that. I can't ask that. But, you know, we are uncensored. So if you agree to be on this show, it's going to be
ask
uncensored,
anything.
baby.
Ask anything.
Matt, where can everyone find you, bro?
So my Instagram is Matt Diamond Pro. It's Matt with 1 T. My Twitter is just Matt Diamond. And I have a Facebook like page, which is it's like Matt Diamond /pro wrestler. But I mean, like we kind of spoke about earlier, I don't really use Facebook too much. I have a wrestler merch t-shirt store as well under Matt Diamond on wrestlermerch.com.au. And I have a big cartel, which is linked in my Instagram bio.
There you go, guys. Check it out.
And if I'm going to plug one more thing,
absolutely,
it would be, please, everybody, if you would like to watch some free wrestling, go ahead. PWA just uploaded a match from one of the most recent shows. It's Aussie Open and Robbie Eagles versus Speed Force, myself, Paris and Jude, and kind of a little bit of a preview as to what people will see this coming weekend when Aussie Open take on the Velocities for the tag titles.
Yeah, and your big match as well, bro, versus Lucci with some serious, and your match with some serious stipulations. Guys, make sure to head out, check out PWA, check out Australian Wrestling. Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure, bro. I'd love to get you back on again. Hell, maybe we'll do a Speed Force show where I get every member of Speed Force on the show.
That'd be fun. It'd probably be just me ragging on Paris for an hour, but that's fine. I can do that.
Hey man, why not? Let's get it in there and
absolutely.
We'll do it. But look, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been a great guest. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching on Facebook, come February, come May 15th, we will no longer be streaming any of our content on Facebook. So don't be a bitch. Switch to Twitch. Twitch.tv/MWA World is where it's going to be at. Guys, we'll catch you next time. Make sure to check out PWA this weekend, Velocities versus Aussie Open. But until we see you next time, peace!